All right. I'm right. Have a look on screen. Have a look there on screen, right? So I was watching one of Sport and Icon's videos today. Now, this was a few days ago. I was doing a bit of a catch up in this new job I've started. I can listen to a lot of stuff while I'm there, so I catch up on a few podcasts, was catch up on the boxes, was listening to Sport and Icons talk about this. And he was talking about an Instagram post that Tyson Fury made on February the 26th, which he was claiming exposed him for basically having no interest in the Alexander Usyk fight and already in some ways having this fight with Francis Ngannou pre-arranged. Now, in a video Sport and Icons was talking about, he was saying that basically this was an Instagram post. It went out on February 26th. This was when he was in Saudi Arabia, obviously because Jake Paul was fighting his brother Tommy Fury. And not long after the initial post, it was actually deleted, right? Obviously, screenshots still exist. But if you actually Google Tyson Fury and Prince Mohammed bin Salman, it's actually still on his Facebook page. And his Facebook page is a big corporate page, so anyone can go on it, whether you have an account or not. And I'll read it verbatim here. So, it says, and I quote, "Some absolute groundbreaking news coming out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Game changing." Interesting choice of words there back in February. "I want to personally thank the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Mohammed bin Salman, and my father at Gypsy John Fury. Stay tuned." Right? So that's what it said there. Now, before this fight was announced, what was Team Fury and Frank Warren saying? That this announcement would be game changing. For me, you have to look, you have to go back and look at things and you see them in hindsight. Now, it was obvious with the whole negotiation with Alexander Usyk that Fury didn't want this fight. That was blatantly obvious. But when you look back at the comments John Fury was making back as far back as January this year, saying that Ngannou was a more formidable opponent than Alexander Usyk, which is crazy considering he's not even had a pro fight yet, right? His pro debut, if it's going to go on the record or not, I don't know. But it's going to be against Tyson Fury. It's his first real professional fight, or his first real boxing match, I should say. Of course, he's not more formidable. When you're reading that come the end of February, and bear in mind, that Prince is different. Obviously, he's a different Prince to the one that works with Skill Challenge. He is, I believe he's part of or something to do with the crowd that Fury is fighting with. The one that's doing the Ngannou fights. It's different from Skill Challenge. Obviously, we know that. That's the one Usyk is with. It's the one that Joshua has fought on a few times. Well, they're the ones who I believe are looking to do the Wilder versus Joshua fight. It's a different crowd. I think Sport and Icons was saying as well that Prince Mohammed bin Salman is part of that crowd. So another just coincidence. It seems the more you look into this, it was blatantly obvious from the get-go that this fight was a fight that was planned all along. And I think with Tyson Fury, his image has been absolutely taken through the mud by his own hand. I often, when I do a video on him, I get many people comment on my videos saying, gee, I was a fan of Fury for the longest time, but the way he's behaved this last 6 months, I'm turned off him. And it seems that way with a lot of people. He's really done his image. He's done his image no favours. And what I suspect the whole plan of this was with Tyson Fury, this was always the plan. It just seems inevitable that that's the purchase word. It seems that this was always the plan from the get-go. It seems he was inevitably going to fight Francis Ngannou. But obviously, given the fact that his last fight was against Derek Chisora, it was on pay-per-view coming up close to Christmas, it was a record price in the UK pay-per-view, it was a complete mismatch. You couldn't just go from that, avoid Undisputed when the Undisputed fight is there to be made. You've no mandatory obligations, and the sanctioning bodies that Usyk has his title to it were saying, alright, get Undisputed over the line, we can put the mandatories in the back burner for the time being. When all that is happening, you can't just turn around and say, I'm going to fight Francis Ngannou next. Because the backlash you're going to get, you would have got a lot of backlash, is going to be huge. So what Fury and his team obviously decided to do, and I suspect it was really kind of the inner circle of Fury, Frank Warren as well, because Sugar Hill Stewart, I don't think was even aware of this, because given the fact that he let the cat out of the bag when he came over to train Lawrence Okoli and admitted that he had a ticket back home anyway. He was never going to be there training Tyson Fury. He was only there to train Okoli for the David Life fight. I suspect their plan was, right, let's appear to be negotiating with Alexander Usyk. Right? We're not going to take this fight in Saudi. right? We're going to get him to the UK, hoping that he wouldn't come to the UK, that he'd say, no, I want the Saudi deal, and that they could, have plausible deniability and say, well, we wanted it in the UK, Usyk didn't want it, we couldn't come to an arrangement, it's not our fault, but Usyk said he'd come to the UK. Okay, right, wasn't exactly planning that, right, let's just give him a really bad offer, like an offer, he's already going to make less money, let's give him an offer so bad, he'll never accept it. And the problem for Fury is he was doing all this on camera, making videos of it. So it's not like you could say it was done behind the scenes where you have plausible deniability, where you can say, oh, he's saying that we offered him 70. We didn't actually offer him that at all. All right, we made him an offer, he just didn't want it. Now, Fury was saying 70-30. Well, he'll never accept that, just say Usyk's pricing himself. Oh, he accepted it? What? Right. What else can we chuck out the bag? Come on, think here. We have to make it look like we're the ones trying to make this fight and he's just being awkward. Rematch clause, let's chuck that at him. It was apparent that Fury was trying everything to make this fight as unappealing for Alexander Usyk and his team, so they would say, we're going in the direction. And they did do that. But the problem is it backfired, because it was so apparent that this was what Tyson Fury was planning that it ended up falling by the wayside. And now he announces this fight with Francis Ngannou. You see the posts like that came out that are still on Facebook. Obviously, it's deleted off Instagram. And he's using the words game changer. And what does Frank Warren and Team Fury say before this fight was announced? It's going to be game changing. It's blatantly obvious that this fight was what they were planning. And I guess they obviously hoped and prayed that Alexander Usyk would refuse earlier. The negotiations, that he didn't maybe say, I don't want to go to London, I don't want to fight him in the UK, I don't want this. So they have plausible deniability to turn around and say, well, we tried to make the fight, we would have rather had done it here, but Alexander Usyk refused it. The fact that Usyk played ball so much that he kept, calling their bluff, it was making it apparently obvious that Fury had no interest in fighting him. And then when obviously the fight broke down, Fury and Frank Warren were the ones who got the backlash. They tried to save face, but no one was buying it. Then they go and announce this fight. I reckon if they had have just announced it from the get-go, maybe going back as far back as January, February, and saying, look, we won't fight Usyk this side of the year. Ngannou is who we're going to fight. We've got no mandatory obligations. We're going to fight Ngannou, but we will look to make the Usyk fight later in the year. Yes, he would have got backlash, deservedly so. But I think if there was still if he wasn't shutting the fight down, if there wasn't such obvious instances of him ducking it, I think a lot of the fans would have given him a pass. Well, I think a lot of them would have actually given him a pass. They probably would have said, okay, look, yeah, he's doing this exhibition, it's not what we want, but look, we haven't even gone down the negotiation road officially like that much with Alexander Usyk, so maybe we will have some hope. The fact that the negotiations were pretty open, and it was so apparently obvious that Fury was trying not to get this fight made, making it as difficult as it can be, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And now we have this fight, which they're trying to sell as groundbreaking, game-changing, which it clearly isn't. So Fury, he's going to make a lot of money, and if he just comes out and says that's what I'm all about, instead of giving us this spiel, as I said yesterday, Naoya Inoue is all about legacy. Alexander Usyk is all about legacy. Fury is all about the green. That's all he's about. He's all about the dollar bill. He ain't about legacy. Hell no. So that's my thoughts on this. And, the Fury fans will still come up and try and defend him, which is really bizarre. Some people, subscribers, would be like, gee, it's hard to read some of those comments from Fury fans. It's like, I don't find it hard. I actually think it's amusing. I find it funny when I see them commenting, they have a go at me and they have a go at the subscribers and this, that and the other. It's like, I pity them, because why are you still defending the undefendable? My only kind of theory is that like attracts like. I mean, Fury, a great fighter as he is in the ring, is a great fighter. That's one thing I will never have anyone say. If you say Fury is not a good fighter, I'll say, no, he is. He's a great fighter. But as a person, as a human being, nah, man, this guy is as fake as a £2 note. And I get the impression that a lot of these guys who are still clinging on to his coattails, they are probably not particularly nice people. Obviously, they're typing on the keyboard, you're this, you're that. Yeah, big man behind the keyboard, well done. Thumbs up, well done for that. I would imagine that these guys are just... Fury has money. I'm sure a lot of these guys, God knows. Jesus. I just find it amusing, to be honest with you, when I see the comments. It's just like, what the hell? You know, and I don't really get bothered by it, you know. And if they really start, acting up, they can always join the block party. That's it. It's as simple as that. I'm very reluctant to do that, but if they're really pushing buttons, they can always join the block party, So don't worry too much about that. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation in the comment section below. Do these posts and the fact that you can still, like as I said, you type in Tyson Fury, that Prince, the Facebook post is still there. Have a read of it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Smash the like button if you could, lads. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. For now, lads and lassies, I'll talk to you. Peace.